says, Ein Leichen Tefillin, Arum Ben Mumcha. In other words, a cipher, that the cipher is a mumcha. You could buy in the store. I mean, the beam. We talk about what should a mumcha? He says, Shaboki b'chaseres v'yaseres. In other words, there's different words in the tefillin. Some place where, like the add a vav, some place where it's missing a vav. So that's called chaseres v'yaseres. Avoloi imish eine mumcha. Apapi shuraitzel botchem. In other words, he's saying over here, the person may say, look, I'll buy from anybody. I'll check them and we'll check them out, you know, for what they are, what the story is. He said you shouldn't do that. You could worry, be concerned, he says, Shema Yisatzo because he's talking when he's buying, he says, I'm going to check out, but you know, today I'm busy, I'll go tomorrow, I'll go the next day, you know, and little by little, he may forget about it also. I mean, it's not such an easy thing, so you need an expert. So about you need an expert, right? So therefore we say, you know, don't buy and rely on, we're going to check out if it's kosher.
According to this, you should buy it only from the sefer himself, not from the store.
Well, not unless the sefer tell you who wrote them. The sefer carries tefillin, and he should know from who wrote them. If he did, he's saying you shouldn't do it, but if he did buy that, so buy that, so you have to check to see if wherever it's without a vav or without a yud or with it, to check says you say this and you say this, you see on the pasha. But how do you know that it was made l'shmo? He says this is someone that's everyone knows you need l'shmo. I mean, otherwise he wouldn't be writing. I mean, because he's not the ain't sort of give the kulam. Now, it's talking if you bought a wholesale. I'm not talking about someone that bought one pair. So he says, you don't have to check out you bought a whole lot of tefillin. He said, I'll fill lakach mimenu meir kitzitzes. Kitzitzes means the set, he says, of shayad and sharash. Dai shayiv the gimel kitzitzes. So then it's enough that if you check 3 from this whole bunch, and how do you check the 3? Gimel beis shorosh ve'echad shoyad, oy beis shoyad ve'echad shorosh. V'im motzon gesheres, if he found that these were proper, so who's the gzera ish? So this person becomes a person that's reliable. But the one who sold them, or the one who sold it, that they're all written by one. Varei kula keshedes, ve'ein hashat tzirkum bedika. But he says, das soll's gerat geworden, if he bought from one sefer a whole bunch of pairs of tefillin. Aber he says, ve'im wokon tzvasen, if he bought it like he bought singles. He bought like a lot. He needed 10 pairs, but not he bought from one side with 10 pairs. He picked up in different places, and chaskosan Shem b'sofrim har behem loichim, and these come from different sofrim. So leficha tzara givdak mikol svas, from each bunch. Beis shorosh v'echad shel yad, or beis shel yad v'echad shorosh. In other words, what he's saying is very simple. If he bought 10 sets from one person, that all from one person, so he checked 3. If he bought 10 sets, but Moshe, let's say, is 5 from one or 5 from the other, then from each of the 5, he has to check 3 by taking 2 and 1, 2 shayad and 1 sharash, or 2 sharash and 1 shayad. Hamecha tefillin, someone that sells tefillin. So before we're talking that he bought it direct from the cipher. Now he says hamecha tefillin, someone that sells tefillin, a storekeeper. The Ayman, he says, Shahayi Sha'adam Gadol, he's saying these tefillin are special tefillin, they belong to this and this Choshev Yid. So Naaman is believed, because She'ed Echad Naaman B'Sunan. We have a call that Eid Echad is B'Goy. V'shuv and Tzara B'Dika, and maybe you don't have to be boidik. She'chazaka Al-Chavar, She'hoitz Mitach Hashil, Davar She'edim B'Sukan. In other words, the one that had it, Zikr, it was proper. So you can rely on that, and you're relying on what he's telling you. It's Asgerat, if you could trust the storekeeper. If you can't trust the storekeeper, then you go back to B'dika. Now he says an interesting din, which the Rebbe once spoke about it when the Rebbe came out with mitzvah tefillin, about checking tefillin. So people right away, the Rebbe like to criticize everything the Rebbe says. So one of the things that they criticized was that you don't have to check tefillin. That once you know the tefillin are kosher, you don't have to check it. So this simon is what the Rebbe answered the people. So let's look over here. Tefillin shehushalu b'kashas. Tefillin that you bought a pair of tefillin, you bought them as kosher, everything's okay. Ein tzara b'dika l'oilo min adin. So you don't have to check them anymore. You can you live 70, 80, 90 years, all the years since your bar mitzvah, you don't have to check the tefillin. Min adin. Why? Shekol zman, as long as she'toifrim shalom, that the bias and the gidim that they soda with everything is complete. Hareim b'chas kosher. So you rely that they're kosher. Vein choshesh neshama nimchad ois v'teichel. Why are you checking? You see nothing wrong with the bias. If you see something wrong with the bias, so you have to check, because it could be that it lost its squareness, you know. But if you see nothing wrong with the bias, why do you have to check the inside? What are you afraid about the inside? That what? That it got erased? That it got the... He says, Shekol, maybe something got erased. Or nokfa, or there's a hole through a noise. So it comes out to be said that up within, you don't have to check for someone. If you meet someone that you come in a place that he has film from his grandfather, you know, you don't have to check. But he says, the right thing is to check them. There could be that perspiration got into the bias. Ve'im ein manichem alle uprokim tzrichen b'dika pamayim b'sheva shonim. Sheyesh roch shema nisapshu. In other words, saying, when he says, what does it mean uprokim? It means if you use this phone every day, so they get aired out. There's the air keeps them fresh, so to say. But if you don't use them every day, so you know, it could be that they were closed up the whole time. It didn't get any air. So it could be that there's something maybe got spoiled. B'chein im nikra hachipu, if the cover, that means the bias, is something wrong with it, is sicham bedika, b'chein im noshu b'mayim, if it fell into water. V'im ein like mishe dega botkom. This allows Gret that he has a cipher available, that he has someone to check it. But if you don't have someone to check it, in other words, it's easy. Anybody could open up tefillin and take out the pashas and see what they look like.
It's very easy to break.
But you have to know later how to sew it back. So if he doesn't know who to sew it back, so yanich and kach b'loy b'dika, even though they went into water, let's say, shaloi yizbato mitzvahs tefillin, because we still rely with the chazaka that is kosher, and there's a rule when you lay in and say the Torah, and there's a shayla that you can't continue using the Sefer Torah. You have to start again to read over the Pasha? No. You continue from where there was a psul. So we go with the rule, kan nimtza kan hoya, that the psul happened, it may sound a little bit strange, but it happened now, we rely on that. So Meir said, also, when it's tefillin, if you don't know who to check it, so keep wearing this here, and rely on the kashrus that they had till now. Okay. Today is different today because today weather effects could affect the tefillin. Sometimes people give the tefillin in the car overnight. They get baked, you know. There's different shilas that could be created. So over here it says pamayim b'shavua. That means two times in a shmita, every 3.5 years. And the Rebbe said they should do more even. Like in that from them so the minhag that people have that Shchoy Yishao, they check the tefillin, you know, so maybe once in 2 years, you know, be ain't. Okay. Now we're going into Simon Mem. Then I with tushas tefillin.
You think? You said about that if you have 100 pairs of tefillin,
yeah,
you take 3 samples.
Yeah, so
I think the Chashadim, they rely when let's say they have a whole company of cabbage.
Right.
They're not going to check the whole cabbage. They're going to take 3 samples also.
Right.
I think they think that maybe they take it from here. I'm not sure.
That's how you do it, Moshe?
I'm not telling you what I do. I'm just telling you what I
because if you check 3 and it's kosher, 3 is a chazaka.
Right. So I'm saying could be they took
3
it
is a
from here.
chazaka.
Right. Could be they took it from here.
It says that also litters tefillin al hayesed. There's some people that knock a nail into the wall, and just like they hang up their coat or they hang up their hat, they hang up the tefillin. They put by the tzuas. You hang up the tefillin by the tzuas, and they hang on the wall. You know, they don't even have a tefillin bag or a talis bag.
They didn't have the $500 tefillin bags in those days?
Huh?
They didn't have the $500 tefillin bags in those days?
Well, that's what why you would think someone would think to hang up the tefillin. I mean, she says also with this tefillin ala yasad, you're not allowed to hang up tefillin on a nail. Bein betzuas v'abatim tluyin l'mato, bein bebatim v'tzuyin tluyin tzuyin l'mato. In other words, I mean, it says it makes no difference. There's the end of let's take the shalosh. Okay, there's the bias, and then there's the tzuas, right? So there's 2 ways how you can hang it. You can take a nail and hang the bias up on top, and the tzuas are hanging down, or you can make the tzuas up on top, upside down, and the bias hanging down. So she said it makes no difference, even if the bias is up on top of her, so it looks nice, you gave cover to the bias. He said, but you're not allowed to hang them. In other words, this means that someone you finished davening, you're hanging it up for tomorrow. But a kroy ba'alma because you have to go to the bathroom. So the dinim way about going to the bathroom. She says, "Ba'kroy ba'alma she'oichas atfilin biyodei, v'ratzuyas tzuyas l'mato ein hakber." It doesn't matter if you took out the tefillin from the bag and you're holding the tefillin. It looks like it's hanging, but that doesn't matter. But even for temper, but to hang it up, if you're holding it in your hand, so that's even more than temporary. That's mamash for the when you put on your tefillin, you have to do it. You have to hold the tefillin and then separate the back from the front and put it on your head. So, but to hang it up, that is even for a short time. ואין בכל זה משהו התשפיל שרוש תלויים באוויר ומחזיקים ביד הרצועות ומשים על הראש כי זה צריך הנחוסם. Yeah, he's just explaining what I just said now. When you take out your tefillin, how do you put on the tefillin? You took out the shorosh, take it out from the bag, then you separate the ritzuas, and then you let the ritzuas hang down, and you take the shorosh and you put it on your head. So you say, when he's holding it now, she's saying, that's no problem with that. That's the way to put it on. But other than that, just to hold it or to hang it, that you're not allowed to.
You're saying verkehrt that you hold it zu, the bias hangs when you put it on. That's what he's saying. You hold it zu and the bias, the filler hangs. That's okay. We don't be careful on that. We don't do it. That's okay.
You're holding. Okay.
Hold the zu and the filler. That's it. I still say to live ba'avim machzikim biyad but the zu is. Take out. Some people just take out the tefillin.
So you hold it in one hand.
And they put it on, so the tefillin is hanging for.
In one hand, you're holding the bias,
No,
and
not
one hand
the
the
bias, not
tzulas.
the bias. No.
That's what's marked over here. Umazikim biyad
The
b'ritzulas.
tzulas, not the bias. So some people do it that way. So that's mutter, but we don't do it that way. We hold the bias.
Kishahain bekisam. Mutter l'troisam. In other words, let's say when you come home, let's say from shul, okay, and you hang up your coat, so you can hang up also the whole talis bag together with your coat. Avos sebetoida also l'troisam afila bekisa. If it's a betoida is even in a bag, kisa can mean the mantle over here, but a cover that's made with it, you can't. V'sedurim hakvuim beluchos shebehem shalshelas shel kesef also l'troisam bo shaluchos ein daimel v'kis v'fi shehem mechubaras l'siddur v're'en kesiddur atzman. So what does it mean over here? It means over here he's saying they have a siddur. It seems like that the siddur has like a just like over here. This siddur has this thing over here to hold the page. So this has like a chain with it, So he's saying that. And the siddur has Kavur Beluchos.
They hang up the Sidurim? They hang up. They hang up.
The covers.
The covers. Yeah.
They hang up
The
the
covers
Sidurim?
is something a piece of wood.
Yeah, they used to hold the mothers.
The siddur is attached to some boards.
Yeah.
They used to hang up Sidurim also.
Huh?
They used to hang up Sidurim also.
Yeah.
If you look old Gemaras, you can find very old Gemaras. They have boards and the little lock, it closes.
No, it's not. No. He's saying as a tefillin that's in a kiss. Tefillin's in the bag, and you hang up the bag is okay. But the siddur, that the siddur itself is the covers are attached to the siddur, and there's also like a chain over there, so you can't hang that up because you hang it up. In the siddur, he's saying that the covers of the siddur is not the same as a tefillin bag. It's a part of the tefillin.
It's the Siddur itself.
That's what he's saying over here.
It's connected.
He says that with Sidurim Hakavuyim Beluchos, the Sidurim that have, let's call it covers, Shebahain Shalshelas Shalkesav, it has also a silver string. That's to hold the placement from. Also with Loisa Bar, you can't hang them by that silver spring. Why? Because Shaluchas ain't a diamond or kiss. The luchas are not the same as a tefillin bag. The siddur. The covers are attached to the siddur. So the tefillin that are in a bag, so the bag is not attached to the tefillin. So the bag is a separate thing. So you can hang it up by the bag. But over here, you can't hang it up with the chain because they have covers. Because the covers are part of the siddur. That's what he's saying over here. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.